You know what, I've got to admit, I'm not really a fan of gimbals. I find them too big, sort of cumbersome, slightly annoying to use. The shots you get are great, but I'm just not sure the payoff is actually worth it. But ZHIYUN sent me an email and they said, look, we've got this new gimbal, we think it can change your mind. So I went, okay, send it my way, and let's see what we can do. So a few weeks later, a box arrived at my house. All right. New product day. Hey, welcome back, or welcome for the first time to the channel. My name's Lucas, I'm a motorsport filmmaker based here in the UK. And ZHIYUN sent me a new product to check out. This is their Weebill 3E from their Cinepeer line. It's their brand new line. And this is a gimbal, which we're gonna unbox today. I'm gonna give you my first impressions. I'm gonna give you a first look from my side of things at this gimbal. As I unbox it, I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I'm not that keen on some gimbals and why I think this one might just be a little bit different. I would be lying if I said I haven't already opened the box, but I've pretty much just left everything as it was. There we go. I don't think I've done an unboxing on this channel for a really long time. So there we go. It comes in this lovely cardboard box, as most things do these days. And then you slide out the storage case. I wouldn't say it's a carrying case, doesn't have any handles, but you've got your ZHIYUN branding on there. And yeah, that's about it. And there it is, in all its glory. It is a foam insert box, just set out so everything's in its place. And you might start to notice one thing that is pretty special about this gimbal, and that it is pretty small. That's sort of the first reason why I don't like gimbals, is a lot of the time they're just too big and they're bulky and they're cumbersome, and I just don't like carrying them around, to be honest. I sometimes just feel like it's not worth the payoff for carrying it around versus the shots you can get with it. What I've always been looking for is a simple, small, compact gimbal that can, you know, take the weight of my proper, true mirrorless cameras. And this might be the first one that I found that might just do the trick. Just taking out the base there, standard sort of three-legged tripod base, which seems pretty solid. That obviously just folds up. That will act as a little bit of an extra handle. That's pretty standard stuff, to be honest. And then the gimbal, it's got a decent weight to it, actually. I'll put up the figures in terms of like the specs of the weight and all that. This is all one piece. In other gimbals, this comes apart and you've got like a battery grip, but this is just one piece, which, to be honest, is absolutely fine with me, as long as it's nice and compact. It is much smaller than, say, a RS3 or something like that. It's much more compact. You have obviously the handle, which has a sort of rubbered texture on it, which is nice and grippy, it seems. You have a scroll wheel on the back, which, well, I imagine you can repair to lots of different things, but we'll check that out in a second. You've got a trigger on the back, which has a decent feel into it. This is all plastic. The whole build is plastic, so not much metal around. On the bottom, you have your different 1/4" screws. They're 3/4 inches, I think. 3/3/4 inches. So you've got your different options for mounting. I imagine you've got some accessories you can get to mount onto there. And then on the back, you've got a small screen. I don't think that's a touch screen. I imagine that'll be operated with the buttons. And then you've got a scrolly wheel on the side, which I imagine is for the menu, a power button, a menu button, a joystick, an M button, which I imagine is a mode button, given how most of these gimbals work, and a record button, which is fantastic. I love when they have that sort of functionality to activate recording on the camera, something every single gimbal should have. USB-C input on there, which I imagine is for charging. You've got the base plate, which just seems to be a standard base plate. I don't think this is like Arc Swiss, it seems a little bit wider than that. And then you've obviously got your cables. That's a USB-C to USB-C cable, and that's a USB-C to USB-A cable. And it also comes with an Allen key, which is lovely. Nice way of actually being able to tighten things. I love Allen keys. I prefer them to the flat heads because I never have a flat head thing in the bag. I always have Allen keys, so I don't mind that. And yeah, you can actually use on the thread that they've got on the bottom of this plate, you can use a Allen key or flathead screwdriver. So it has your locking or your unlocking mechanisms. So that will be the roll. There we go. And then finally you have one on the side for the pan access. So these can all be locked. They are manual locking as far as I'm aware. If these more manual features mean that it can be smaller, I'm way more likely to use the gimbal, honestly, because yeah, I'll actually have it with me. So yeah, I don't mind a little manual thing. Now, it looks like this base plate on the gimbal itself is going to be for horizontal and vertical quick changeover. So I'm pretty sure you unlock this. If I just turn that like that so you can see. There's a little paddle here on the back which allows you to just flip that out, little button here to release, and then you can change this over like this, loosen this up, slide that onto there so you'll be able to get your vertical shooting as well. On the back here there is also another USB-C input, which I imagine is for attaching those cameras that can't be attached with Bluetooth, although I can't think of many these days that wouldn't be able to, but if you do have an older camera, that you might be able to attach it so you can tether from there, which is great. And then you have your locking mechanisms for the gimbal itself to attach the base plate. So the base plate, I believe, is just going to slide straight in here, if I'm putting it on the right way, which I'm not, I believe. The 10 goes at the back. Lock it at the back. Nice big paddles, I've got to say, like really easy to get nice leverage on, which is good. And that locks nice and tight. I will balance one of my cameras on here so you can see. But yeah, basically, it's small and compact. Let's balance the camera, huh? See how easy that is. Okay, here we go. So I've got my FX30 here. So it's obviously a good representative camera for pretty much mirrorless bodies these days. Single quarter 20 in here, because this only has one mount. I don't have a cage or anything on the FX30. I know a lot of people are getting mad right now that I'm doing this with my shirt, but obviously when you know it a little bit better, it'll be quicker, but let's see, it's a first balance of a gimbal, which I don't do that often. Let's see, all right, start timer. Boom, we're going. And that's balanced. Considering that is my first time balancing that gimbal, I'd say that was pretty quick. Once you get used to it, obviously that'll be much easier to work out. Now, it's got a small compact form factor, it's quick and easy to balance, but what features does it have and what sort of modes can you expect? So yeah, the screen on the back is a non-touch screen, it's operated with the buttons. And that's fine for me. I don't really need a touchscreen, they can often be fiddly, but this one is operated in a simple way using the scroll dial and the mode button on the back. That allows you to quickly switch between the three main modes, which is the locked mode, which will mean it will just stay locked in a single position. You've got the pan follow, which is just panning and following. And then you've also got your sort of follow mode, which allows you to move all three axes of the gimbal. You'd expect every gimbal that's on the market these days to be able to do these functions, so obviously it's great to have them. And the ability to swap between vertical and horizontal shooting really quickly is fantastic, because we all know how much content now is consumed in a vertical format, and that is really useful to be able to do. A feature that once again features on many other gimbals, but it's good to have this even though it's in a smaller compact body. And when it comes to stabilization and motors, it's clearly able to take sort of small mirrorless setups. There are really no bad gimbals made anymore. They all do great stabilization. We've had the same formulas for a really long time. And so the differences between 3-axis stabilizing gimbals has got smaller and smaller. But what I really like about the ZHIYUN Weebill 3E is that it just takes it back to basics. It's just keeping the absolute essentials that you need, and that's what this gimbal is excellent at. If you're looking for something that just does the job that you need it to do without any of the extra paraphernalia, then this is the gimbal for you, because it's small enough to carry around and it just does the basics right. And for me, that's what I want out of a gimbal. So if that's what you're looking for, something that just hits the basics, isn't going to break the bank because it comes in at a very affordable rate, and is just a really solid creator product, then I'd highly recommend this gimbal to you. It's brilliant to see new products coming out that are just hitting the spot for different levels of creators as we go through this sort of whole massive creator phase where pretty much anyone can create anything, and that's fantastic. I love to see it. It's awesome to be able to have access to fantastic products that can help you make really, really fantastic video content. Yeah, that's pretty much it from me today. Hope you've enjoyed this little unboxing and showcase of this. Big thank you to ZHIYUN for sending this out, and I hope you found this sort of first look showcase useful. I haven't actually used the gimbal in like an enormous range of situations because I just haven't had it that long. So I don't want to go out there and call this my long-term review, but it's just sort of showcase to show you guys a cool product that ZHIYUN thought would help benefit my situation and hopefully many of yours as well. So I believe they've left a code in the description that can get you a discount on it as well, which is great. And so you guys can benefit from that as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.